Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at creepy things people have encountered. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Whoa, it's raining hard. I was out for a walk early one morning in a forest preserve. That's usually pretty empty. I start coming around a corner and I can see a car that's parked in the grass just outside of a parking lot. I think it's strange, but keep walking. I'm probably like 50 feet from the car now, and suddenly the trunk pops open. The car alarm starts going off and the driver's side door opens. I'm coming from the passenger side and can't see the driver, but I get a bad feeling about the situation. I still keep walking on the path and come around where I can see the driver's side of the car. A guy is sitting in the car's driver's seat and starts to wave me over him. He throws up his hands and says, "I'm not sure what's going on, could you come and help me?" I tell him nah, he's on his own, without breaking my stride, and keep moving. He throws his hands up again and turns off the car alarm, gets out and shuts the trunk, and then gets in and drives away. I'm creeped out, so once he's out of sight, I double back and walk the opposite way just to be safe. I walk back probably like the 30 minutes it takes to get to the lot where I parked my car. When I'm getting close, I hear that car alarm going off again. I'm freaking out now, but didn't want to walk back into the woods again, so I keep going to the parking lot. When I get there, that same car is parked with its trunk open, car alarm going off, and the driver's door open. The guy's already talking to someone else in the parking lot. He sees me come into the lot, looks at me for a minute, and then shuts off the car alarm, closes the trunk, and drives away again. I just booked it to my car and called the park rangers, but they didn't believe anything was weird about it. I'm like 90% sure that dude was trying to kidnap someone. Yeah, I think so too, because he's trying to lure someone into his car because everything was fine with his car. If he could fix his car himself, then why was he trying to get someone else's help? You know what I mean? Like, that's so sus. So I'm guessing this person probably just saved that person he was talking to from getting kidnapped too. Jeez, some people are not slick. Like, honestly, if anyone does this, just run, okay? Just walk the other way because it's not a big problem and they can fix it themselves, or they can call someone else to come fix it. When I was a child, I was running around the house. I think I was home alone. My mom had run next door to the neighbor. My dad was at work. I heard the door open and close. Mum, no answer. I heard footsteps downstairs that were too heavy for my mum. I freaked out and decided I needed to hide. I was next to the laundry room, so I ran in there and buried myself in a pile of dirty clothes. The footsteps came up the stairs. I heard the footsteps go down the hallway to my sister's bedroom, then mine, then my parents' room. Then the steps came to the laundry room. I heard heavy breathing. They stood there. It felt like forever. Then they left. I heard the front door open and close again, but I was paralyzed in fear. I stayed there, under the dirty clothes, until my mother came home and called my name. She thought it was all in my head when I told her what happened. Please believe your kids, okay? They won't lie about something like this, man. I'm sorry for the rain if you guys are like distracted or you guys can't hear what I'm saying. Seriously, the rain is very loud. Every single time I say that, the rain just disappears. I drove an old SUV back in college. After school, I drove home, which is about a 30-minute drive. I was getting dressed at home when the car alarm went off. So I rushed out and discovered the car door open with a radio head unit and all speakers gone. I was thinking, this guy works fast. Reported it to the police, and after a couple of weeks, they found the thief and asked me to go to the police station. At the police station, I was asked a few questions, and the officer told me I had to hear something from the thief. When I confronted him, he told me that he was able to get into my car at the car park near my school, and I unexpectedly arrived, so he dove and lied flat in the third row. So I was driving home with an unknown passenger all the time. When I arrived home and locked the car, that was the time he removed the items, and when he opened the door, that's when the alarm triggered. She drove a freaking thief back to her house. That's scary. This is my biggest nightmare, like getting into my car and then there's like someone at the back. Yeah, I always check the back though. Before I drive, I check the back, like I'm ready to like punch someone, honestly. Several years back, on a bright winter afternoon, I decided to take my nephew, then 7, my son, then 3, and my dog on a short hike at a local park. We were walking through the woods on a trail where my dog started barking. I look over and see a man standing in the woods, about 50 feet away, facing us. I couldn't see his face because he had one of those fur-lined hoods on. So with the distance and the shadows from the trees and his hood, from my perspective, there was nothing but a black hole where his face should be. I gave an awkward wave, but he remained motionless and I had a weird feeling, so I decided to just keep moving and making our way back to the car. I felt like we were being watched, so I looked back a few minutes later and the man was still just standing in the woods. But I knew he had moved because he was still about 50 feet and we had walked quite a ways. My dog was growling and the kids and I were starting to get creeped out. We keep moving and I suddenly hear the sound of fast, heavy footsteps in the snow. I look back again and this time I caught the guy running in our direction. But he stopped as soon as I saw him and went back to just staring motionlessly from afar, now closer than he was before. My dog was going nuts at this point and my mind was racing with possibilities, so I discreetly gave my nephew my phone and quietly told him that if anything happened, that he needed to take his cousin and run as fast as they could to the car and call for help. I figured if anything, the dog and I could at least hold the guy off long enough for the kids to get away. I think my dog may have scared him off because he ended up turning around and going in the opposite direction. I've never really told anyone because I don't want to come off as being dramatic. That's creepy! This guy freaking playing the real life Squid Game. You know, where, what is it? You know, you don't look at them and then you turn around and then they're like a bit closer to you. Green light, red light. The fact that every single time they walk and they don't look at him, he's a bit closer. Heck no. One night when I was 15, I stayed over at my buddy's house. His parents were gone and his older brother was looking after us. When we went to the bed, the house was quiet and dark. I could barely see his bedroom door open slightly and I assumed it was my buddy's brother checking in on us. But then I realized that this person looking in on us was wearing glasses and my friend's brother did not. There was no one else in the house and I could not figure out who this person was. I was frozen in fear just staring at this figure looking in on us when my buddy who was in another bed on the other side of the room started screaming at the top of his lungs. I had never heard a more terrifying sound and my heart just dropped out of my chest. The person looking at us quickly backed out and the door was closed quietly. A few seconds later, we saw the light come on the hallway and my friend's brother flew open the door asking what was wrong. We both started yelling that someone was just here. The brother grabbed a baseball bat from his room and started searching the house. We checked the front and back doors and the garage, but they were all locked. All the windows were closed. He looked in every closet and under the beds. Needless to say, we spent the rest of the night in his room. None of us could sleep, so we just stayed up all night talking. It was one of the most terrifying but also best nights of my life. That was the best night, yo. They didn't find the person and all the doors were locked and all the windows were closed. Maybe he jumped out of the window and then closed the window. Or he's still in the house. He's in the basement somewhere. You know, there's like a secret opening somewhere. Yeah, that's what I think. No, the fact that the freaking person closed the door quietly, that guy's a psychopath, man. Like someone is screaming at the top of their lungs and he isn't even like, you know, panicking. He's just like, okay, you scream, I'm just gonna get out of here quietly. He didn't even panic. He didn't even like, I don't even know, man. That is creepy as. When I was in college in not a great area, I lived in a building where you had to briefly go outside after parking in the garage to access the locked door to the stairwell. There were 2 stairwells, one on either side of the quite long garage. The garage had one metal mesh door that lifted so you could drive in, but it was totally see-through. One night, I'm getting home late and grabbing all my crap from my car after parking, and then turned to see this massive dude in a hat and trench coat, standing right up against the mesh garage door in the dead center and staring straight at me. I'm in the garage, he's outside, but he's directly in the path to the locked stairwell. I don't want to show fear, so I take my time assembling all my stuff and several minutes later turn around and he has not moved, still silently staring. I walk over to the bank of mailboxes, which is out of his line of sight, to form a plan. I wait another few minutes and can hear him breathing. Then I got my key ready and took off running to the other end of the garage to get to the locked stairwell on that side. Dear reader, I just about pooped myself when I heard heavy footsteps come pounding around the side of the building to the stairwell I was aiming for. Thank heavens I was able to unlock the door quickly, bust in and slam it behind me. Never saw him again, but it was clear he figured out my plan and knew where the other stairwell was. I still get chills to this day when I think about what could have happened. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I can't believe they still like Well, I guess they were already in the house, right? Like they were in the garage. No. It was in a building, but they were in the garage and the person was outside the garage. So could they have come in if they went to the other stairwell? Like they could have met them at that point? Dude, I think I would have just got in my car and just, drove off. Because I would be so scared that if I went in, they would just be waiting outside or they would plan something to try to like break in. I think I would just get out of there, honestly. Like, just gonna get in my car and drive off, alright? Because I'm pretty sure if they're gonna do something, they won't stand in the middle of your car to get run over. Unless they're psycho. That's scary. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!